The Western woman is more like I'm going to wear as much clothes as possible, and I'm going to
as much
as less.
Oh,
I'm going to my body. It's not about nothing else but my body, sex,
That's
money,
the modern
attention.
Western woman,
yeah.
But I think it's faith. That's also what stood out about Anaya. How dedicated she was to her faith was like a strong symbol. There's a solid base to build on. She believes in something more than the physical. And that's what I think like most women today lack. Like, you don't even believe in God. You damn sure don't believe in me.
Right. Damn sure don't believe in me.
Describe myself in 2 words, rich and unemployed. These stones cost 2 birds. Let it count it when she bored. Deposit hit, checks clearing, ayy, nothing void. I know that ain't my ex calling, null and void. Where we going? Money going up.
All right.
Money counting.
Welcome to Rich and Unemployed podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Dubuton, aka Finesse. And before we get started, make sure you guys check out the Patreon for behind the scenes content. And also check out the website for some merch, www.richunemployed.net. And also, I got one-on-one calls. If you want to talk to me personally about anything, relationships, you need advice, whatever it is, you could book a call with me. Let's get started. I have a very interesting guest, 2 people. Usually it's only 1, but today is 2. And I'm interested to know everything about you guys. So go ahead and let's start with him.
My name is Bryson, 21-year-old entrepreneur. I do Airbnb arbitrage, coach people how to get started with Airbnb. From St. Louis, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Ayah. Raised in St. Louis as well, and I also do rental arbitrage with Bryson and teaching people how to get started in Airbnb.
How old are you?
21. We just turned 21. His birthday was like a few days ago, and then mine was last month. So,
wow. What a beautiful story. Okay, Airbnb arbitrage. Can you break that down for me? What is it?
You want me to take it or you got it? Okay. So Airbnb arbitrage is doing Airbnb in someone else's home. So it's just you renting a property, and then with the landlord's approval, you're just listing on Airbnb.
That's arbitrage?
Yeah.
I thought Airbnb arbitrage was basically I start the Airbnb for you, you buy it from me. No?
Not really.
Yeah.
So it's just Airbnb.
But through renting. That's the difference.
Using someone else's property.
Property that you don't own.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to do Airbnb. And I think I was pretty good at it. I had maybe like a 2-year run. This was before it really took off. I was able to charge maybe $500 a night, $1,000 a night. And this was back in 2016. And I was making a killing. Then I took a break from it. And when I got back to it and I started seeing the prices was just crazy. Like it was like oversaturated. People, the same nights I was charging $500 for, now they were charging $150 for.
Ooh.
What city?
Yeah, what city?
Here.
Oh, in Atlanta.
In the same area. And it's next building over.
Atlanta definitely got really quickly saturated with Airbnb for sure. And then they put actually a lot of like regulations and laws against it. So I think people can only have one Airbnb now here.
Oh, we don't really follow it.
Yeah.
Like LA, they have like stipulations where I guess they can catch you or whatever because you only could do 3 months at a time. Correct? No.
I don't know much about the LA.
Yeah.
Where do y'all reside, and where did y'all start with the Airbnb arbitrage?
We started in St. Louis, and then the property that we bought in December is in Arizona.
Okay.
Glendale, Arizona.
So y'all bought it.
So all the units that we rent are in St. Louis, Missouri. We got our first one before we moved to Vegas, and we moved to Vegas about 2 years ago. So we started Airbnb 2 years ago through renting in St. Louis, Missouri, and then we just kept going back and getting new units there to scale. And then, like Bryson said, we bought our first property in Arizona in December, so 5 months ago.
Okay. How is the market in St. Louis when it comes to Airbnb? Because I know it really pops in really big cities, popular cities, Miami, Atlanta, New York. St. Louis is not really an attraction to me.
Yeah, no. I feel the same way. Like, I was surprised. Like, why are people booking this place? But surprisingly, our Airbnbs do really well there. I think there's not so much demand because it's not such a popular city. And sometimes...
it's a different type of crowd, though. Like hockey and baseball.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like the Cardinals. You probably heard of them.
Yeah.
Everybody actually surprisingly goes for the Cardinals and for the Blues.
Oh.
So.
Okay. So do y'all like decorate the unit specifically for the people that you want or y'all have any themes? It just
not in St. Louis.
Yeah. All of our rentals we don't.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's just plain Jane apartments.
They're nice, but
they're
like
nice.
there's it's not centered towards St. Louis.
So y'all never thought about doing themes?
So with the one that we own, it's themed as a woman's Airbnb. So it's like pink, or I can tell you about that.
Yeah, it's called Con Amor, from one woman to another, and it's a whole pink house. We got like painted the walls pink, the pool pink,
the pool inside the pool.
Like the like the little trimming around the pool pink, a whole bunch of pink furniture. So that one's themed, and that one's doing really well. But all the rest of them are pretty simple.
Wait, what state is this? This house?
Glendale, Arizona.
Arizona. That's not even popular either.
It's not.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be popular to make money, though. Because people think about all the people who are traveling. They're traveling from one place to another. You got the State Farm Stadium where the Cardinals play. Hella big concerts like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Drake. Every major artist.
The Super Bowl,
Every major artist who goes to Arizona performs there, and we're only like 15 minutes away from it.
Right. So you're catching all that traffic.
And then baseball season is also there, like spring training and shit like that. So it isn't like wildly
big
popular.
for golf too.
Yeah.
Golf is big there.
Golf. So is it a year-round thing for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we launched in February?
Right at the end of February, right before the Super Bowl, the day before the Super Bowl. We had to finish. So.
Yeah. We've been booked up like 96% of the time.
Wow. Okay. Let's break down. How do you start Airbnb? From start to finish.
There's two ways. You want rental arbitrage, which is the way we started, and then we started owning. So you want us to break it down, rental arbitrage to begin?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, first 5 steps in the webinar.
Okay, so we have a free class that we teach every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and we actually cover the 5 steps to get your first yes. We break it down, we make it real simple. So step 1 is creating your company. So you actually have to make an LLC, make it professional, make it legit. Step 2.
Hold on. First,
no, we gotta dig into the.
We gotta dig in because
it's like the webinar.
My first go around, I ain't do none of that. I ain't have an LLC. I didn't have a business bank account or nothing. Okay. I just started it, and then the second go around, I was like, you know what, I can really do something with this. Yeah. Before I seen it was oversaturated, so I got an LLC, got the business. So let's break that down. Why do you need an LLC?
So you need an LLC to separate yourself as a person and your business as a company. You don't want to merge the two.
Right.
And it's for limited liability. So if something happens in your property, you don't want to be liable for what happened to that person. They got to sue your company, and that's going to take a long time and highly.
They wouldn't sue Airbnb?
They probably would.
Okay, but you just want to protect yourself.
Yeah, even Airbnb, that's a whole nother corporation. They ain't,
right.
Okay. But not just that, but when you're renting, the whole, like the way to make more money is by scaling. So in order to scale, you have to get a landlord to say yes. They're more than likely going to say yes to a company as opposed to just a person who's trying to do Airbnb.
Got
so that's
you.
different.
Okay.
And then when you get the LLC, you got tax benefits that come with running the Airbnb. So if you run your Airbnb business from this phone, the bill to this phone is going to be tax deductible. Or let's say you want to, so I'll use me and I for an example. We live in Las Vegas, but our Airbnbs are in St. Louis and Arizona. If we wanted to take a road trip to St. Louis and, we had to get gas, hotels, had to feed ourselves, let's say a tire pop, we had to get the tire fixed. All expenses related to that road trip, it's going to be tax deductible because it was in purpose of the business. Or let's say we had to take a flight to Arizona. That flight ticket is going to be tax deductible as well.
But
only when you have the LLC. So like if you're doing it as a person, you don't get these same benefits.
But even bigger than that, like the basics of like your rent, your utilities, all the things that you have to pay anyways, when you have an LLC and you have a company, those are all tax deductible at the end of the year.
Furniture.
So all of your total business expenses you can deduct off of what you're paying. But if you're just doing it as a person, you're paying on everything that you make regardless. So
got you. Step 1. Get the business, structure the business.
And then So even like an LLC sounds like super intimidating, right? Like it just sounds so legit, but there's companies out there like LegalZoom, Inkfile.com that makes getting an LLC super simple. Pretty much just looks like literally go on Inkfile, fill in a few basic information, and they do like the heavy work of actually sending in the paperwork to the state, and then they send your LLC back in a couple to a few weeks. So instead of it being something that's like heavy and just like super legitimate, they make it super simple. And honestly, everyone should have an LLC.
Everyone should have an LLC.
Everyone.
How many LLCs you guys have?
Shit.
For all of it, we have like 3 or 4, I think, and then we have an S corp.
We got more.
But we have like one LLC for all of our Airbnbs. All of our Airbnbs through rental arbitrage fall under one LLC, and then the Airbnb that we bought is under a different LLC. So.
Gotcha. Step 2. Funding.
Learning how to use other people's money.
So y'all not using cash?
No, sir.
Damn, I did this all wrong. Okay.
So, all the time people ask us how much money I need to get started. And, the answer ranges from $8K to $15K, depending on the size of the Airbnb and the location of the Airbnb. But when people hear that big amount, they're like, I don't have that money in cash. So we recommend people use the bank's money, other people's money.
Specifically business credit.
But how do you set yourself up to get business credit?
So once you've made that LLC, now you can actually go and build up your paydex score by getting net 30 accounts through places like Uline. Me and Bryson, we literally built up our paydex score by buying toilet tissue off Uline. And then we built our paydex score to over 80. And then with that, like at 20 years old on one business credit card, we have over $150,000 in funding on our Amex plat. Like our...
Then the cheat code to business credit is if you already have good personal credit, you can personal guarantee a business credit card. Yeah. And of course, you're still personally liable for it, but that's going to give you access to more capital that would have taken you longer to get access to if you had to build up your actual paydex score. But even if you do the personal guarantee route, I still recommend that you build up the actual business credit profile so that you don't always have to personally sign for it as well.
Gotcha.
So we personal guaranteed our first cards, and then as we were building up our paydex score, and then once we built up our business credit, now we don't have to personal guarantee our stuff.
How many units did you have to pay cash?
We paid.
We didn't.
Nothing from the start.
Not fully in cash.
Yeah.
Our first unit, we did use some of our saved money, but after that, we used some of our saved money and personal credit. Then after that, we realized not even personal credit, use business credit, and don't use cash.
Man.
It's really just like learning how to play the game that's there. Like all the time people tell us like, I got evictions on my credit report. I've got repossessions. Like how I'm supposed to get started. Like even if you have bad credit, you can still get started in Airbnb. There's multiple ways. Because one, when you get that LLC, your company and you as a person are 2 separate things. So if you, like I said, build up that business credit profile, you can go to anyone and tell them, shit, I'm a Lawrence Stage LLC. I'm not Bryson Blocker. So what I have going on as a person has nothing to do with this. Based on how, look, they don't see who you are as a person. And then let's say you have bad credit, you still want to get started, and you don't have access to funding. If you come to our free class or you enroll in our program, we teach you how to do it. You now know how to run the business. All you need is the funding. So what you do is you go to a family friend or you find a business partner and say, hey, I have the brains on how to run this business. You have the funding. Let's work together and start this business. Like, don't let the money part stop you from achieving this because it's still possible without it.
Got you. I used to pay cash for everything. But this is back when I didn't know anything. I'm just trying stuff out. I was spending tens at a time because they were all over here in this area. Y'all familiar with the landing station?
Not really.
Well, all of these are lofts. This is the smallest unit, and they get way bigger and way more exotic than this. And the rent ranges from like $2,500 to maybe $3,500. And all. No, the smallest one. This is renovated, so it's $2,600. But without it renovated, it would be like $19,000.
That's still up there.
$2,000. And my rent was like $332. I had some really big units, and I really decked them out. I made like, one was called the Bachelor Pad, one was called like the Blue Loft. I just gave them themes and stuff like that, and it was going too. But I was spending so much money.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with using cash, especially if you have it. But
No.
I would say,
No.
I would say if you in that position now, like for anyone listening, if you have cash, go and get you an Amex Platinum or Gold.
Yeah.
Use the Amex Platinum and Gold and just pay it right off. So instead of you just using cash and it's a done deal, use the credit card, get your points, and book you some plane tickets, some hotels, turn it to cash. Like, get rewarded for spending that money instead of just cashing out.
On our Amex Plat right now, we have like over, if we were to convert our points into cash, we have like over $36,000 in
Points.
that equate to over like 30-something thousand.
What y'all gonna do with the points?
Take a trip eventually.
I just don't want
Egypt? And
a different one.
It'd just be hard to spend those. I don't want to see that balance go down.
I feel
3.6 million
like,
points just look nice.
I feel you. All right, that's step 2, funding. 1, structure the business. 2, get funding. 3.
Step 3 is learning how to create your private booking website. So again, in rental arbitrage, one of the biggest things is getting a landlord to say yes. And that's like how you scale is getting more landlords to agree to your business model. And me and Bryson, I think one of the main reasons that we were able to scale so large at such a young age is by having a website that we would show the landlords and show them like, we are a professional company, we operate on a website. Guests can book our properties through our website, though we do also list them on other third-party short-term rental platforms such as Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com. But having that website to present to them that works as an online pitch, so when they read it, they understand your business model and know right away if they want to rent to you or not.
Exactly.
How many times have you guys got turned down?
Oh,
a lot of times.
Countless on time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a part of the process, like genuinely. But nowadays, it's like nowadays what we've done is like, since we have our own program now, with that being in mind that like people will get turned down hundreds of times, we've now made a program to where instead of you having to reach out and do all that work yourself, we now do that for you. So instead of you having to email 100 people, call 100 people, you just sign up for our program and we connect you with an Airbnb approved property like that. So
In any state?
In any state that we have available.
Any state that we've secured the units in. So
we
right now,
do like the most popular location, like Miami and stuff like that.
I know Miami's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, but we got a big team working, calling people all day, emailing, getting that property
securing units
approved.
for our students. So we have all of our units on a dashboard, so that way our students can look at them and pick which ones they want. The students who joined the Done With You program.
Wow. You guys are smart.
Thank you.
Somewhat.
Who's the smartest one?
Definitely her.
Bryson acts like Bryson's actually very smart.
I mean, women are just up there. You know
You
what I
had
mean?
to say that though, you know.
I ain't taking no credit. That was good.
Okay, so because what is the pitch that you give to these landlords? Like, what do you say? Okay, you show them the website, like, hey, I do Airbnb. Not even just landlords. Are you going for the buildings that have
We go for apartment buildings. We go for small landlords, big landlords. It doesn't really matter. We just reach out to anyone.
Who is most likely to say yes?
It depends
really
on where you
depends.
are on the journey.
Because we don't reach out and say like, hey, do you allow Airbnb? Or hey, can we do Airbnb in your space? Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no. Even if they allow short-term rentals, they're going to say no because they can't let a person sublease out their house and turn it into an Airbnb
Right.
or their apartment. But if you reach out and get a corporate lease or apply as a business applicant and do it under your company, that's again why you need that LLC. Because if you have a company and you get a corporate lease and you're doing it all under your business and your business is a short-term rental company, then sometimes they're allowed to allow you to do Airbnb if that's your business model.
Exactly.
So it just depends.
But yeah, it really depends on where you are in that journey. So when you're first starting off and you don't have any business credibility and you don't have any units previously, it's going to be easier to persuade like a private owner to use their actual home. But after let's say your first or second home, that's when you have the business credibility and you can go to the building and get multiple units. But just throwing it out there again, if you join our program and you want to get straight to it and you want to avoid all that, we're going to connect you with apartments that have multiple units in one building, homes they have pools that have upgraded stuff so that you're not starting at bottom one. Allow us to take you up to step 5 and you can scale after that on your own.
Got you. I used to just lie.
That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people do that.
I used to lie. Like, hey, I don't say nothing. And then I would post on Airbnb and
Call it a day. Collect the check.
nah, they come shut me down.
Yeah.
They coming for you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Every time they used to come for me, and then I used to have to like take the pictures off the balcony and like,
Nah.
man, I used to go through it. That's why I stopped. Honestly, I really just stopped because it was just too much of a headache.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. Like they start off doing it that way where they just get an apartment and then they just start doing Airbnb. But most of the time it ends up getting shut down. And then all the hard work that they put in that whole investment goes to waste.
But we've seen so many great testimonials about how Airbnb done the right way has like changed like actual lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, we have a student named Jackie. She's a nurse, a full-time nurse. She joined our program, got her first Airbnb, making like $8 a month. She just bought her first home.
Yeah,
and
she's also a mother.
A mother.
Yeah.
So like,
and now an Airbnb host. She's lit.
Take someone like Jackie who's working and we teach her how to do Airbnb the right way to own in a house. That changes her whole family's trajectory. Mm-hmm. And that's just like one of many. Like we didn't have so many people get started to where life has been changed. Like now collecting Airbnb income while working your job. So you bred it up. You can use that as a down payment on a house, a car, send your kid to college, shit, do whatever.
Right.
Get the bread.
How does that feel though? Like helping so many people?
Feel great.
That's amazing. I think that's the whole point. It makes it all worth it for sure.
All right. So what's step number 4?
Finding a profitable location. How to actually get an Airbnb that's going to make you a lot of money.
How do you find that? Let's break that down.
So the first step is going to be to actually make sure that the properties make sure that it's legal in that city. Mm-hmm. This doesn't have to be super complicated. Literally a quick Google search. Like let's say you want to get started in Scottsdale, Arizona. Go on Google and type in the Scottsdale, Arizona allow Airbnb. First thing that's going to pop up is probably going to be from their government page. Click that and pretty much just read through it and it's going to give you a straight answer. So it's going to say something like, yes, but you have to get a license, you have to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. That's good. That makes it to where it isn't super hard, but you still have to do something. But like some cities, like New York City, is going to say no. Mm-hmm. So after you confirm that it's a yes and you have to do taxes and stuff like that, you're going to move to the second step, which is making sure that it actually has demand. So that's when what I do is I go on Google and I type in top rated things to do in the city. So for this example, Scottsdale, that's when it's going to give you about 10, 20 things. What you want to do is you want to get as close to the reason people are visiting. So if it's a stadium, get your Airbnb close to that stadium, because imagine if you were a guest, you travel into the city and you go to a concert. You're going to get the Airbnb close to the stadium. Mm-hmm. So you as a host need to remember that and get your place as close to the reason why they're visiting, because you want to put yourself in the shoes of the guest. Mm-hmm. The easier it is and more convenient it is, the more money that you can charge.
What about the airport? They try to get close to the airport?
If there's not like big things like a stadium and things like that, then airports are really good. Because a lot of people, especially because there's going to be all different types of travelers that come. There's going to be corporate travelers, traveling families, people who are coming like to visit family, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So sometimes having your Airbnb by the airport is a big hit if there's not something else that's drawing them more, if that makes sense.
Okay. What's something else
that would draw them in more?
Profitable to make it.
After that, after you get those two, you make sure it's legal, you make sure it has demand. Next thing you're going to do is actually run the numbers. So when we first started off, we would use other softwares to do our research. So a website called AirDNA, pretty much log on, you could check out the numbers, but even that was more complicated than it needed to be. So we ended up making our own software for our students so that they can just literally log onto our software, type in the address, type in the bed, bath count, and the rent, and it's going to tell them if it's profitable or not. So,
wait, y'all made your own software?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually making a new software that's adding on to that software to make it even better. But I'll tell you about that later.
So the website is www.airbnbbreakdowncalculator.com. Once you log in, you get a 30-day free trial. Mm-hmm. So that means you get 30 days free to research any property you want. It's literally so simple. You type in the address, the bed and bath count, the rent, and it's going to tell you how much money you're expected to make. And it's going to show you other Airbnbs already in that area, how much they're making. So if you can see that your neighbor is already making 6 figures a year, then you can say, okay, I can put my Airbnb right here. Mm-hmm. I can at least make my Airbnb as good as theirs or better, and I can expect to make the same type of money. Mm-hmm. So after you get that research phase out the way and the numbers come back profitable, then you're good to actually reach out and pitch that property.
Yeah. So that's where you actually are like finding what property do I want for my Airbnb. And like Bryson said, you put in the address. Like let's say once you pick your city, then you go on Zillow and you start trying to find properties. So you're looking through. You're like looking through whatever's available, let's say, and then you see something that you like. It looks modern. It looks nice. You take that address and you put it into whatever research like software you want to use. For example, we created the Airbnb breakdown calculator. Before we were using AirDNA, but when you actually put in the address and you see, okay, what is this property going to make? Certain softwares like our calculator or like AirDNA will tell you what the property is expected to make every year and how much it's expected to be booked out and what it's expected to, like what your nightly average is going to be. And then you know, do I want to move forward on this property? So you put in the address, you put that in, and then you put in all of your expected expenses. So if you know on Zillow, it's going to tell you how much the rent is. If it's $2,000 a month, you put that in.
Even on the rent, a lot of people get caught up on how much the property gonna cost, but don't worry about how much it's gonna cost. You gotta worry about how much it's gonna make. So if it's gonna cost $3 a month, but it's gonna bring you back $4,000 in profit, that $3 is worth it. Like, don't let that front end stop you.
Because once you put in all the information, it's going to tell you this is how much you're expected to make in a year. Let's say it's $100,000. After all your expenses, including your rent, your utilities, after all that, which your Airbnb is going to pay for, after all that's paid for from your Airbnb, let's say you're left with $70,000 per year. Now you know, okay, if I move forward with this property and I do what I'm supposed to do, I can make $70,000 a year off this one property.
A property that you don't own. That's the goal of Airbnb arbitrage. Yeah. You're making money from someone else's property. You're going to take that money and go buy your own property. Like, think about, so we come from St. Louis to inner city. Like, someone having their own house is like everybody renting. So for us to have the opportunity to go and use their property, make money, and buy property, that's huge. Our whole trajectory has changed after that. You know, like at the end of the day, we now have a crib that we're going to have forever. You know what I mean? And that's just something that a lot of people don't get exposed to.
Now, what about size of the place? Because typically some people go for 1 bedrooms or big houses, 3 bedrooms, thinking that they can make more money from having a bigger unit because you can fit so many people in.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the bigger units make more money. So like, for example, our 1-bed 1-baths make anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 profit per month, but they're very steady. We have like corporate travelers who come, business people who come and stay for weeks to a couple months at a time. So it's like very simple. There's not much turnaround. You don't have too many people coming in and out. The bigger properties, people are staying for a lot less time. They might stay for a weekend, part of a week at like a week or 2 weeks max. But they do bring in a lot of money, but it's more turnaround. It's bigger groups. Sometimes it's a little bit harder because...
more risk for sure.
Yeah, more risk. People like to throw parties. So then you have to be making sure you're monitoring your doorbell cameras, making sure that the actual guests that say they're coming are the guests who are going to be there.
That sucks, though. Like,
I know.
You're trying to live your life. Nobody's trying to be checking cameras and sound protection.
Exactly. So what we do in that case is we install different security devices to make sure that everything goes smooth. So like the biggest one for bigger homes is called Noise Aware. And pretty much what Noise Aware does is it tracks the noise levels inside of your property. Not the words or anything, but like it tracks the noise level. So it'll compare it to like a band. Like if someone in your house is as loud as a band, there's a party going on. But you don't have to like actively be checking it because it's going to let you know.
And it'll actually send them an automated, like you can have it set up to when it first hits that first risk, it sends them an automated text saying, hey, we noticed that the noise levels are a little bit too high in the property. Please keep it down. If it does it a second time, it's going to send them one more. And if it does it a third time, like if they keep hitting the threshold, then it'll say like, this is your last warning. And then, but also that's why we have the Noise Aware, because it'll send a notification to our phone. So we don't have to like constantly check it. It'll let us know. And then even with the doorbell cameras, like it'll ding. It'll tell us if people keep coming. So we know.
Honestly, when it comes to that price, that's why your pricing reflects the type of guests you're going to get. Like, when you charge a high price, there's only a certain type of person who can pay that price. So nowadays we aren't really we aren't that worried about those horrible parties. It's more so just making sure that we have the systems in place to make sure nothing does get out of hand.
Gotcha.
But if somebody paid $1,000 a night, they probably don't want to lose it for acting out. So they'll probably act right.
Now, in a case that you do have a party, what do you do?
We just let them know you got to go.
Man, you got to tell them about the story in St. Louis.
Okay, so most of the time, it's a smooth process. We let them know. Yeah, we just literally tell them, hey, because we have set house rules. So that's another thing that we always tell people in our free class. If you want to avoid parties, in your house rules for like on your Airbnb listing, it needs to be very simple, clear cut. We always tell them, The guest count must be accurate. Any additional guests must be added to the reservation beforehand. Any additional guests that are not on the reservation will be counted as a party, and parties are not allowed. So those are just 4 of the rules that are in our house rules. That way, if people violate it, if we see, most of the time, like if it's like 1 or 2 people more, we'll ask, hey, we noticed that you have a few extra guests. You know, can you please say the reason or add them to the reservation? But if we see a lot of people are coming, we literally just send them a text and we say, due to a violation of the house rules, your reservation is canceled immediately. Like, please leave the premises. We give them 15 to 30 minutes. And then we tell them after that we will be calling authorities. And they always leave. Now, the one
this story crazy.
Time that it did not happen, we sent the message, and this girl, even right away, I think she had a name similar to mine. And so she was like, oh, we got the same name, like whatever. I was like, our name's not the same, number one.
But we happened to be next door setting up an Airbnb. So like while they were tripping, we were like, damn, like I really don't want to go over there, but I guess we gotta go.
Well, so we sent them a message. We said, hey, we see way too many guests. Everyone who is not on the reservation's canceled. Then the girl's like, please, it's just, so she had said beforehand, she booked it and she was like, hey, is it okay if we have a few extra people just until this time? It's my birthday and it's just a couple girls. So we were like, okay, understandable. Then it's not a couple girls. I'm not kidding. There was like 25 people.
More.
No, it was so many in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment.
Niggas was in closets, bathrooms.
So we're like, yo, there's way too many people. They got to go. She's like, she's like, I thought you agreed to a few extra people. We're like, that's not a few people. They need to leave or the reservation will be canceled. She's like, okay, they're leaving in the next 15 minutes. We're like, okay. 15 minutes later, we're getting more notifications that more people are showing up. So we're like, yo, like everyone needs to go now or everyone's going to have to leave. There can be no more than 6 people remaining in the property. She's like, okay, they're leaving, blah, blah. She keeps saying that no one's leaving. We don't see anyone leaving. Then they start covering the doorbell camera, all type of stuff. The whole time, me and Bryson are one building over setting up another unit that we had been setting up. So like Bryson said, we're like, bro, I do not want to go over there, but they were not leaving. So I'm like, okay. So me and Bryson leave the unit we're working on and we go and we knock on the door. So she opens the door and she like looks and we're like, we literally said that I told her we were coming over, right? So I'm like, everyone beyond the 6 guests needs to leave. Otherwise the whole reservation's canceled. She's like, there's not more than 6 people in here. I'm like, we literally have a doorbell camera. No one has left. There's literally 30 people in this property. Like no one has left since we let the people, like since you had people coming. Hold on. She's like, I'll open the door and you can see. She opens the door, we hear noises, and the bathroom had like one of those transparent but opaque doors. You know when it's like, you can see the shadows in there, but you can't see. I see bodies of shadows hiding in a bathroom that's closed. I'm literally sitting there like, bruh. I'm like, you know I can see the shadows in that bathroom, right? She turns around, she's like, nah, that's just my friend going to the bathroom real quick. She's about to go. And I'm like, yo, like, then it turned into like this whole big thing where like, everybody needs to leave, but they were drunk. It was her birthday. She was tripping. She's like, it's my birthday. Don't kick me out. Eventually, we were just like, that's it. We've already given you too many chances. We were being way too nice. Everyone needs to leave. Your reservation's canceled. They started standing on the counters, screaming.
Slamming the door.
They slammed. Me and Bryson, I was like, we're leaving and we're going to give everyone 15 minutes to leave. Otherwise, we're calling the police. They started yelling, we don't care about the police. F the police. Send the police. Like, it don't matter. We don't care. Whole time, like, and then I said, like, just so everyone knows, we're calling the police. So everyone who's in here, and we could already smell, like, we don't allow smoking, none of that, but we could smell the marijuana. We could smell all of it. So I'm like, so just so you guys know, anyone who's in here, the police are coming. So if you don't want to be caught in the scene, you might want to go. They're all like screaming. What did they curse at us? They were like yelling, calling me ugly, all type of crazy stuff. I'm just like, I'm not even going to entertain it. So we were just walking away. We're leaving and we go outside and we sit in the car and we wait. The police come. And then as the police sirens are coming, we see everyone running out of the building. Like now they want to leave, that the police were already coming. Everyone went running out. And then we see the girl who booked the reservation and she's trying to like act like it wasn't her. So the police get there and we're like, oh, actually that's her right there. So then the police are like, excuse me. She's trying to act like she doesn't hear them. They brought her back upstairs. She ended up having to pay for they ended up breaking a couple things like out of spite, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that was our one story where it didn't go so well.
I got lucky.
Yeah. No, that was another story where this girl, remember the girl who her birthday?
You gotta lean in this.
Who? That was crazy. She said,
so it's this girl on Airbnb. She books it, whatever. It don't matter. Out of nowhere, she sees a picture. She didn't took the cake, like put it on her.
She had no clothes on. And she took the cake and
smeared it like everywhere, like all the private parts, and sent me a picture. What'd she say? She said some weird shit.
Thank you, or something like, it's my birthday, by the way. I was like, yo.
Wait, hold on. So, who picture is on the profile picture of your business?
I think it was a logo.
Yeah, it was a logo, but Bryson had sent, she was texting, like on Airbnb, you can like text the host number, and it was Bryson's number. And I think somehow he had said something, and she realized, I don't even know, but it just was like,
the craziest.
A thread of them. Like, you know how you send it and it's like, you swipe.
She just kept sending it. I'm talking about ridiculous.
I think he had to block her. He was just like, please don't.
Out?
It was, she sent it after she left.
Oh.
She said, thank you, I had a great birthday party. She said, thank you, I had a great birthday. It wasn't even a party. It was just her and like 2 of her friends. Her birthday, she was doing a photo shoot, I guess, for her birthday. That was her photo shoot. She said, thank you, I had a great birthday. And sent her photos.
It was crazy.
Dang. I don't want to tell my Airbnb stories, but so like I've had situations where I had to like go to the unit and then try to kick people out, and I just can't deal with it. Like they be so drunk, they be ready to fight.
Yeah,
I got to pull up with a gun. I ain't got time for it. I don't even want to deal with that. So like I would call the police, and even when the police came, they was just buck. Not open the door. I done had situations. They people is crazy in Atlanta. They do some wild stuff. And every Airbnb unit, they're gonna try to throw a party.
And that's what it is in St. Louis, though. That's why, like, right away you gotta.
But now,
stop it.
On St. Louis, in St. Louis is worse now. It's like every Airbnb store is connected with like a shooting, a killing, or some like
it's so
something
sad.
terrible.
It's so sad.
But y'all safe.
We safe, yeah.
Because y'all got these rules in place. Everybody ain't got.
We got the rules and the devices. Most people start here like if they don't know how to do it the right way, they do it the wrong way, and it just leads to so many problems.
Really, you're supposed to scare the people within like the rule, the house rules, the description. Like you want to scare people like that's even thinking about this stuff. Like, nah, I don't think we throw a party here because if I'm trying to throw a party, I'm gonna read
and make sure that I'm not gonna get kicked out and lose my money.
They say, oh, any extra people we getting kicked out? Oh no, this ain't the one. So you really got to set it up right. Yeah. All right. So what's step 5?
That's actually getting your yes. So that's where we actually apply and like we pitch the landlords. We tell them what our business model is, what we do as a business. We send them over our website in our pitch. So normally when we reach out, that's like a big thing. A lot of people say, hey, do you allow Airbnb or do you allow subleasing? But a lot of the time when you reach out that way, like I said, they're going to tell you no. So we always start off and we say like I'm just going to give an example like I always do in the free class. Like if I were reaching out on Zillow or if Bryson were reaching out, he might say something like, hi, my name is Bryson with Alluring Stays. I saw the property that you had listed on Zillow. It's perfect for our company's needs. Are you currently accepting corporate leases? Or are you currently accepting business applicants? And then a lot of the time the landlord will email back and they'll say, hi, what is your business? Or what is your business used for? Or what type of business do you have? And then we'll explain to them in depth what our business is as a short-term rental company.
We'll send them the website.
Yeah, we'll send them our website. And then right then and there, they know that we plan on using the property for short-term rentals, that we do have our website, but we also list on other third-party platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com. And then from there, they either say like, we're interested in speaking more, or no, thank you, we're not interested. And that's how you pitch them. Pretty simple.
You said getting guests. I thought that was step number 5.
What?
Getting guests.
What you mean?
Getting guests.
Oh, we tell them like how we get our guests.
Right.
So
that's
like,
number 5. That's step number 5.
Yeah, apply and pitch. So we tell them who we are, what we do, and pretty much how we
Not
do
getting guests, getting the actual unit.
Oh,
yeah. Getting your yes. Sorry, we got Invisalign a couple weeks ago. It gives me a list, like, don't mind me, guys.
I was like, what? It's not making sense.
Getting your yes. So getting your first yes from a landlord.
Man, this still ain't coming out right.
Yes, I know. Yeah, no. And I swear it's the Invisalign. It gives us a list that we did not have before, and we just got it like a month ago, so it's new to us.
How much money y'all think I made in Airbnb?
First year or second year, we made $377,000.
I made a lot of money.
In total, from Airbnb, we've probably made around $500,000, $500,000, only from Airbnb. And then our coaching business is a whole separate thing.
But year 2 on Airbnb, $377,000 in a year. Our highest month was $58,000.
How much work does that require? Like you being in the business?
But the automations, bro, it takes away you from the business outside of personal things. So whenever someone texts, we have automations that automatically text them back. They get a confirmation when they book. They get a check-in message 24 hours before check-in. Automatic checkout instructions 17 hours before checkout. And then it's automatically programmed to answer questions like, hey, what's the Wi-Fi? How much is late checkout?
What is AI?
Yeah.
What?
So even that, like, there's so many different softwares that you can use to automate the business, from pricing to messaging to scheduling your cleaner schedule. So like we're not texting our cleaner every time someone checks out like, hey, you have to come clean.
I don't never text
because it's done automatically through Airbnb. They can see like, and through Hospitable, it's like all these different apps. So even that, we see that there's all these different apps that are offering different pieces of the automation. So even now, like stemming on the first software that we created, like the calculator, now we're taking it one step further, and right now we're developing a software that does everything. It includes AI, it includes automated messaging, automated pricing, automated like research, automated messaging your guests, automated reaching out to the landlords, like everything, all in one app that's going to be like on the iOS store, an app that people can use as everything in one place to make, because that's the thing with Airbnb, people are getting into it because they want semi-passive income. They don't want to have to work every day, all day to make money. So that's the whole point of that, is you need an automated business. You need it automated. Otherwise, you're going to spend all day texting the host and your cleaners, but you don't want to do any of that. So that's why there's already apps out there, but they're different apps that you have to get. So we're putting everything plus more into one app. So you just use Airbnb and then you'll use Staley, which is the app that we're creating.
Like Anaya said, like most people, they get into it as a side hustle and they make it a job. You don't want that. Like you're trying to make more money to give yourself more time. If you don't have the right shit in place, you're going to be working, texting people back, making sure your cleaner's clean. They don't clean because you forgot to text them. You go clean, stressed out.
And you know what, like when a guest comes and a property isn't clean, it's the worst.
It's
the worst. They're so angry, number one. And number two, you know it's your fault because it was on you to make sure. It's bad.
Then Airbnb gonna give them a refund, and they probably get to stay for free.
Yeah,
all type of.
I done been through it all.
Yeah,
y'all make this stuff sound so easy. Damn.
When you put the systems in place, it actually gets really smooth. The hardest part is, like, you probably know, like actually setting up the listing,
right?
Like hanging up all the pictures, putting together the furniture.
This is what you guys do.
What? Setting it up?
The furniture, the paintings.
We don't actually. We just secure them their unit. We get them their first yes.
No. With y'all units.
Oh yeah. We do that ourselves.
Okay.
We started off doing it ourselves, and then it got to the point to where like we're not gonna keep
flying back to St. Louis every time. So my sister saw that there was like a lot of demand in the Airbnb space. So she and I told her once, like, hey, I'll pay you if you go to St. Louis and set up our unit. So she's like, how about I just build the company and then I'll start charging you and other people to do it. So I'm like, bet, if it's good pricing, I'll hire you. So she created her own company. She hasn't even really got off the ground yet. But even that, like, she created a company called Hands Free B&B Setup, where now she will go and set up and do like the part that, like, me and Bryson, we were up every night till 3, 4 a.m. I was painting. I'm the type, like.
The first thing we would do is we would break the mattress down and put it in one room.
So we could sleep on the bed and stay in the unit.
I done been through it all.
We've had to sleep on the floor in the unit.
I was staying there for 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, you don't even want to know the story where we got stuck in St. Louis for so long. We hate St. Louis, man. St. Louis is bad. And not hate, but there's a lot of negativity there.
I'd rather be home, yeah.
But yeah, so the hardest part is really like actually setting up, not even the hardest part, but the most like the labor. Because you gotta, we buy everything off Amazon, which means we have to put together everything, like building the beds and the dressers.
Break the boxes down, find somebody to pick them up, all that type of shit.
Got you. How long you guys been together?
2 years.
Yeah.
And before y'all was together, what was y'all doing?
Shit, we was on at 18.
Yeah.
Is it high school?
Yeah.
We met right at the end of high school, and then
same high school?
No, actually different high school. My friend from high school knew him, and that's how I met him. But
and then I said, hey, somebody had to start it first.
Shit, I Snapchatted her out of nowhere. What was it? A picture of me just...
He sent me a picture of himself. I didn't even know him. I literally responded back, do I know? Like, did I send you something? Question mark. I'm like, who? Like, he was just like, nah. And then he just started asking me random questions. Like, nah, but what you doing? I was like, working. What are you doing?
Yeah, he major game.
You gotta shoot.
Shoot or shoot. Hey, you gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Facts.
Yeah.
So, okay, at what point did y'all decide to be business partners?
We kind of just started doing, when I met Bryson, he was like, when I met him, he had just started going down this like really intense path of like mindset shift. And even when I met him, I have always worked hard, like literally since I was a kid. I did anything entrepreneurship that I could do. I used to walk to the store when I was like 5, 6 years old and like buy lemonade and ice and lemons and like carry the bag over my shoulder to like outside my dad's barbershop, sell lemonade, sell gum, sell candy, whatever I could do. I would walk around, sell it. Like when I got older, I used to clean the bathrooms for my mom, work in my mom's dog kennel. When I was in like middle school, mind you, I was up to like 11, 12 a.m. like doing the dogs while everybody else, like I was just working. I always worked. So I always worked hard. But my junior year of high school, my brother passed away. And it was like, I just started reevaluating life. Like I was really angry. I was sad. I don't know. I just looked at life differently. And when I met Bryson, he was like very optimistic and like really focused on mindset. And I was like, I kind of thought something was wrong with him. And he used to always say things that I was just like, what is wrong with you? Like life is not what you, I'm like, I literally asked him one day, I was like, are you genuinely like, do you enjoy life? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, interesting perspective. Because like,
it's different from a man. I get it though. I get it.
It was crazy. And I was just like really going through it at the time. And he gave me like this whole book list. And he's like, you should read these books. You should listen to these tapes. And I've always worked hard, and I always had like a good mindset. I was very different from my peers, but like there's a different level of good mindset. You know what I mean? And so when Bryson gave me those books, I just started reading them. And my brother actually was the first person who ever was like, read books like this, read them, whatever. And then when I met Bryson, he was like another person who like none of my other peers were like that. And so when Bryson was like, read these books, listen to these like tapes, these podcasts, I started doing it. And I don't know, from there we just grew closer. I started tutoring his cousins. I've always been really smart, so his cousins needed tutoring. And then we started studying for the ACT together. So naturally we were just spending a lot of time together. And then we would just try different things like, hey, did you see this? Like we should try it. Did you see this? Like, so we tried trading stock options where we were both just like learning, like we were just learning a lot of different stuff together at the same time. And then from there, I don't know, it just kind of.
I think you kind of sped past that.
What?
First off, she said she hella smart, but she like honors college, like nerdy, smart as shit, like extremely smart. So as soon as I met her, when I realized that she was like super, super smart, anyone who's smart has the ability to be a millionaire. So I'm like, if you can like really like get on these books and start a business, like since you that smart, you can make a lot of money. But and
even if you're not book smart, the crazy thing is you don't need to be like what people view as intelligent to make money. Like it's crazy.
But the weird thing is, so when I started that mindset rabbit hole, I was reading books and it was called Asking is Given. And it was like, whatever you want, you have to ask for it, and the universe is going to give it to you. So I wrote down the exact car that I wanted, type house or lifestyle, but one of the main ones is the type of woman I wanted. And like super weird and like creepy, but I wrote down like skin complexion, hair type, personality, and I stumbled across Ayah. And it was kind of like what I had been asking for and reminding myself what I wanted. She just appeared in my life. So after that happened, I just knew it was.
Yeah, he used to have note cards taped and like papers. Like I walked into his room one time and like his wall was filled with papers of like.
It's called auto suggestion. So crazy. It's like you telling yourself what to think instead of you letting entertainment in the world tell you what to think. It's like you get up in the morning, listen to music, listen to Lil Baby, he telling you ain't shit, you broke, but you can get bitches, whatever. But me, I would tell myself what to think. You a millionaire, you gonna do this, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. You're thankful for this, all of that shit. So.
And I've never seen anything like it. It was really interesting. I was
auto suggestion.
You tell yourself what to think. You don't let nothing else suggest it to you.
Yeah.
I do something like that. I recorded my own affirmation.
Yeah.
Wrote down a bunch of stuff, recorded it, put some meditation music over it. I go sleep to it, wake up to it, ride to it.
Auto suggestion. That's it.
Very nice. Yeah, even that, like
It worked.
I had all.
It works.
It's crazy.
It works.
I wrote down, like, I typed out all these affirmations, like I will and I can and all that, and I put it on my wall like 2 years ago. And literally so many of the things that like I wrote down, even the goals that seemed like really far off, but I was putting like I am, I will, I can. Bro, so many of them have came true. Like the vision boards that I made, like when I was first making them, I'm like, yo, imagine like someone who makes $20,000 a month, like imagine what their life is like. And then so like soon after that, I hit that and then way surpassed that. To think I would go from 20,000 a month to 100,000 a month to 200 to a mil, like even like I never would have even thought
$1 million a month.
Don't cut that off. Don't cut that off.
So like, yeah, to even
$1 million a month?
Yeah, we've hit $1 million
on multiple
over $1 million
occasions.
Yeah,
On multiple occasions.
and even that, to even when I wrote down I will be a millionaire, I was trying to get myself to believe it. Every morning I would wake up and pray, and then I would read it on my wall. I would stand in front of it and just read through it every single day. And when I first was reading it, you know, like sometimes when you read things and it's like hard to believe, but you're trying to like convince yourself.
Yeah.
But then eventually, like, it started seeming more possible every day that I would read it, like a little bit easier, and then eventually, it all just happened.
Law of attraction.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I believe in it.
Me too.
I really believe in it, and I've been on like this. The first initiation was The Secret.
I love that book.
I just watched the movie.
I
And
love that movie too.
It was just, I said, what? These people are writing stuff down, and it was, and the guy with the vision board, he said he put a picture of his mom's house or the house he wanted, and then 3 years later, he just forgot about it and picked up out of the box, and he looked at the house, and he was living in the house, and I was like, no, I gotta try this. And I would start with like just small things, like parking spots and just little things.
We do. Me and Bryson do that. No, that's
See,
so
y'all into
crazy.
power two. Yeah, I'm just by myself. I already know it's probably strong with two people.
Hella strong.
It is. You gotta find you that one.
So what y'all be saying? Like on the way there, like we want the.
Yeah, we literally said like, get that parking spot right in the front of the building. Like every time, like whatever, we do that every single time. Like when we go to Lifetime, we go to the gym every morning, and like anytime we're driving ourselves, every single time we're like, we're gonna get the parking spot. And even if we come and it's not there, we're like, it's okay. We're gonna go back around. It's gonna be open. And then we come back around, bro, the parking spot's open. It's
I
crazy.
just sit there and wait. I'm like, I know it's coming.
It's coming. But that's life though. The parking spot is life.
It's life.
And people don't understand that, bro. You gotta develop the muscle of even being able to want something and not have it and wait for it to come.
Wait for it to come.
As little as a parking spot, that shit is like the base fundamental of it.
Well, action too, right? Because
yes,
I guess the action would be driving to the parking spot, driving to their location. Because you could think it at home, like, oh, damn, I want that parking spot, never do nothing. And that's with everything in life. Oh, I want this, but you never go for it. You never take that step forward.
Right.
Same thing, like this, a parking spot.
Yeah. Even with that, while I was attracting a woman of Anaya's caliber, like the top type of woman, I also had to become a different type of man. So like I understood that like no more homeboys, no more going out, no more smoking, no more doing none of that, because a woman, the quality woman that I want will not be attracted to the kind of man that I am now. So that's that low key what started. Like I had to shift it because I already knew I could want another type of caliber, but if I'm who I am 6 months, like the same person as 6 months ago, and I come in contact with Anaya, we're not gonna be able to mingle. That's gonna be it.
it's actually crazy, right? Right after I met him, like everyone's like, you should have seen Bryson 6 months ago. I'm like, I don't know the Bryson from 6 months ago. Like he was a completely different person than when I met him. So I never knew, like all his old friends, they always tell like stories of him in high school. I'm like, I don't even know who that person is. So
you started preparing yourself for this type of woman that you wanted.
Yeah.
Without her in your life at this point.
Nah, because I had
them
books, man.
Right.
Them books didn't really like turn me on to some shit like this shit real.
You know, a lot of guys, they want the woman to get prepared, or they want the woman to be ready, but they're not willing to change. You know, like I'm stuck in my ways. This is who I am, and this woman either needs to adjust or change, or it's nothing.
I mean, the truth is, you only gonna attract what you are. If you a bum, you might get a dumb girl who can fall for you, but it ain't gonna last long. You gonna realize, like, damn, I messed it up. That's what happened to my father, my brothers and shit. Like, damn, you had you a good girl. You was stubborn. Like, she gonna change for me. I'm this, I'm that. I'm big. Lady gone. You down with somebody who actually on your level. And you regret it.
I've been through that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn. What do you love about her?
She's like the female version of me, but like better than me though.
Mm-hmm.
She not only has like hustle, but she has heart, like a deep heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I'm working on my heart. You know, like I cut somebody off like, I'm gone. I'm all about the bag.
Yeah.
She's about the bag, but she has the heart too. And that's a good balance. Like just the way that I grew up and like all I've been through, I'm not that I don't have a heart, but like you don't have that many chances with me. And I don't really, not that I don't care, but like, it's an extent. Anaya though, her heart is huge. I think that's what you need in life. You really need somebody who can keep you level and help you see the positive things. Like I'm positive, but once you cross that line, I'm not gonna lie. Ain't no positivity.
Nah, he's
You know,
definitely crazy with that.
So that's the big thing. Like there's not like me and your other half and like somebody who can carry the torch forward. Like every day I'm not on. I don't feel like it every day. But Anaya herself can run our whole business by herself. Like she can do everything that I do without me. And that makes me feel good because in the future, when I have kids and my daughter and my son, if I'm not in the home, if I die early, whatever, they still have a very, very strong leader that's going to lead them to the life I always wanted them to live. So that's like, don't nothing feel better than that for real. Like this shit secured. This shit locked in stone.
Love to hear it. Motivation.
Yeah.
What do you love about him?
I think Bryson, I don't think he realizes how much he really like doesn't stop pushing people. Like no matter who it is, whether it's me or if it's someone that he has just met, no matter who it is, like he's always telling people like no matter what, you can do it. He's always pushing them. He's constantly pouring into people. He thinks he doesn't have a heart, which in some ways it's a little rocky.
Nah, I got a heart.
But it's like different. Like he truly does have a heart where he is constantly pouring into people no matter what. Like even people that I have a big heart, but some people I'm like, I don't like the way they move, like for real. He just pours into people and he's constantly giving his best to other people to hopefully better them. And I think that's a really important trait to have because a lot of people are just for themselves and they don't care about other people's well-being or other people winning. But Bryson, he really does. And anybody, he's like, no matter who it is, he wants to see them win. And that's a really big thing.
Dope.
And he was like really one of the first people that really like anything I say I want to do. And not that other people aren't like that, but Bryson's always like, you can do it. You can do it. And he's one of the people who really, really did help me change my mindset when I needed it the most. So.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
No, it really is. Do you guys think that you guys would have been where you at now if it wasn't for each other? Let's say y'all didn't meet. Would you think you still be doing this Airbnb, making $1 million months?
I think in my case, I could have 100% did it, but I think it would have took way longer. I don't think it would have happened the way that it did because genuinely Anaya plays like a different part. So in the business, you have two roles. You have the attractive character, which is the one who people click on, and that's the one who gets them engaged. And then you have someone on behind the scenes who's more like thoughtful. So me, I can think I'm as beautiful as I want to, but my ads don't perform like that. Like ain't nobody clicking me over Anaya's face. So I could have did it, but it would have been so much harder and longer and probably way more failures and just trying. Like me, my mind is like, I'm a creative thinker. I'll be like, let's go do it. And I was like, wait, like, let's go plan it out first. So with me on my own, I would have just been shooting and trying.
Yeah.
And Anaya brings that balance. And like I said, she can literally run the business on her own. So,
I think it's like a really good balance. It's like Bryson said, like he is really like, no matter what, he'll just like, and I'm like, it's a great idea, but let's also plan out the actionable steps and like, let's go for it. Let's like, I'm not saying wait, let's start taking step one. Let's just figure out what is step one. And then we'll keep taking our steps to get there. But even for me, I think both of us, we have a lot of capability to be successful regardless. So I don't think it was a matter of like success wise, like would we be successful? I think absolutely. But it would definitely be like a when, number one. And I don't know if it would have been the same. At this level. It wouldn't have been the same. At this level, at this age, and specifically the path like that we took, I just don't think, because of every, like when I think of every thing that like all the different things that have happened and like the journey that we've had to go on to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I really just don't know if it was just one of us or just the other one, if we could have gotten here because of the balance that we bring for each other, truly.
Yeah, I don't think so. It won't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. Like getting rich with my wife is different than getting rich with my homies or by myself. Like it wouldn't have been the same. Like this whole little journey is so fun, and of course it ain't easy and it ain't simple, but this shit is fun.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
It ain't nothing like taking a few week trip to Europe. Like fuck it, let's go to Europe. Not think about nothing. Like that's different. Like I can go to Europe with my homies, but it ain't gonna be the same by myself. It ain't gonna be the same. Mm-hmm. So even I was telling her, she had walked in the room like, I'm so thankful and I just really have fun like running a business with you because genuinely this shit's fun.
Yeah, I even think like imagine us having to set up our Airbnbs by ourselves. Like not that we couldn't do it because we've always both worked hard, but just like being able to have someone else to do it with and constantly like Bryson said, like some days I'm really tired. Like some days I'm just like, yo, Bryce, I just cannot do it today. And some days I just walk in the room, he's napping all day. And I'm like, what you doing? He's like, I'm taking a nap. I'm like, all right, I'll let you take your nap. So just having two people, it really does get you to the destination faster.
It's not just business partner, but it's like you gonna be the one that's holding my children. So like we building something so large and every day we're working towards it. Like most people, it's also, it's like a power dynamic. Like normally it's like one go-getter and one passive person. Yeah. And it's like you're trying to pull someone and ask someone for permission to go hustle. But with us, it's kind of like, it's a push and push on both ends. You know what I mean? And that just makes it so much easier.
Literally all the time, he sends me texts like throughout the entire day. Not like, and they're just like, most of the time, they're literally just business ideas all day. Like a random another thought that he texts all day because he's constantly just thinking of like, what can we do better? What can we do different? Or like, it'll be the middle of the night. He's trying to go to sleep. And I'm just like, another thought that I had. I'm like, I think we should do this. Or like, what if we do this different?
He's like that because he know he has a helpmate. Like you just say he was by himself. Who would you be texting? Your homies? But you know, like when you text your girl and she's a go-getter, okay, I'm planting a seed in her. So to help me let this blossom, let this idea blossom. If it's gonna go, it's gonna go. If it's gonna throw it away, it's gonna throw it away. But I understand that though. Like you have a helpmate where I know that if I throw this idea at her, either she gonna yay or nay it, or we gonna go for it.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I mean, each plan can lead to some bees. So I'm throwing them out.
No, all day he throws them out. Sometimes I'm like, Bryson, you've sent me like, sometimes I'll be like working at a cafe or I don't even know, like playing with my niece. I'll check my phone. There'll be like 10 texts. I'm reading through them. And I'm like, they're all these different. I'm like, yo, I don't even know what to do with all this right now. Like, but they're really good ideas.
So y'all married?
Yep.
When? How?
What you mean?
I mean, you're only 21. When did y'all get married?
Well, we got Islamically married, which is like different than legal marriage. We're not legally married yet. But,
I mean, technically. See, so in marriage, like everything go half-half. We do everything half-half. Ownership of the whips, cars, all that shit.
Bills?
Yeah. Everything happening now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a thing right now. It's like an argument of like, you know, the
social media be playing in.
Yeah, social media is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. People love to just like jump in on whatever's popular. Like if they think it's a trending topic, they're gonna go for it. But
so you all for the 50-50?
I mean, it's just not that I'm for it, but it's just naturally dynamic. Like it isn't even like a 50-50. I mean, it technically is, but it ain't like a, I don't know, it isn't like a, you're gonna do half, I'm gonna do half. It's always just been like, bring your shit to the table. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's just been the natural dynamic.
Right.
But it isn't like, I'm gonna do 50, you're gonna do 50. Sometimes you do whole. Sometimes I do whole.
Right.
So that's just kind of how it works.
I
don't believe in 50-50 though. I don't believe in like, in a relationship, somebody gonna have to pick up the slack at some point.
Just do.
Just do. That's all it is. We both just doing.
I think it's just because our current dynamic is just like we're both just like working day in and day out, hustling for the business. Like, so right now that's just both of us are kind of working on the same thing. So we're just both of our energy goes towards the same thing. So I think if there was a point where like we both weren't so like working so avidly in the business, and if I was like, because even that, like a lot of the stuff at home, like before when I wasn't so busy, like I love to cook. I actually love cleaning. Like that's like I love caring for things, I'm the type of person, I like my stuff very clean, very neat. So like I hate a messy space. I hate just mess. But even now, like we get so busy with business, where we're both working on business, that we have people who help with the stuff at home. So like we have a housekeeper, we have people like,
That's life is easy at 21.
And so, and a lot of it's family. Like my younger sister, she literally cleans our house 5 days. It's actually 7 days a week now, but like we pay her to do our housekeeping. My stepdad, he does our personal training and he does our meal prep, like all that. So it makes it easier, because I think if I wasn't, I don't know, I think we're both working the business together. We both make the same salary from the business. So at this point where we're at, why not go 50-50? We're doing it in terms of everything else. So
what's your religion?
Muslim. I mean, my religion is Islam.
Yeah.
So I'm Muslim. Yeah.
You've been Muslim your whole life?
I converted when I met her.
Wow. Why you didn't get her to convert to you?
I didn't really believe in Christianity like that. I don't. It's just I grew up in it, but it wasn't my choice. And like growing up in it, it's like your grandmother's like super on the wave. Like grandmother's holy as can be, but then as it trickles down, like parents and stuff, they're not on that. So with me, I want to create a household that's in unison, and we all gonna follow one thing. You know what I mean? When I met Ayah, she was very, very disciplined and believed what she believed in to the core. I never believed that she would put something on me or suggest something to me that wasn't right or something that she didn't believe in.
Okay.
But me, I couldn't do the same. I can't recommend her come over to Christianity when I don't believe in myself.
Got you.
So it's the
most men would have. They don't believe in that. Like, no, listen, she got to convert to what I got going on.
Most men are like that. So I grew up with a single mother. So I believe in the power of a woman when a woman is plugged into, when she has like an energy source and someone that is like really backing her and not like on top of her, like you will. More so you can, and I want you to, and I will help you. That's my mindset on it. So even when I met Ayah, like even if we didn't come this far, my whole goal from the get-go was to position her mindset to be whatever she wanted to be without no man ever. I'm gonna give you the books that you need to have to become a boss and never depend on the man. Some shit that I wish somebody would have did for my mom instead of being bum niggas. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, regardless of what we ever did. I came in the game, you need to read these books. Most men, they're not gonna give their girl the books to educate them because they want to be up here. Me, if we gonna do it, we gonna do it together. Mama gonna be powerful, daddy gonna be powerful, the empire's gonna be strong. So that's how I see it.
Wise words. That's going viral. It's going to do numbers. I would do the same. So if I was with someone and I believed in them, but I would consider it.
You gotta be the right one though. Some people take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Some people take your shit and just go out with it. Like you gave it to me, I'm gonna give it to somebody else. You gotta make a wise choice. But I prayed for this one though. So
manifested it.
Yeah.
That's actually really weird. When I came into his room, like all the things I was reading, he had like all these cards up on his, like even on his first wall when you walk in, there's these papers fully typed out. And I was like, I literally sat there one day and I read all of it. And I was like, wow, that must have taken a lot of thought and time. And then when I was like by his computer, he had all these note cards like taped on his wall. First of all, they were so ugly. The way he taped them up was very unaesthetic. Not just
for a woman.
But no, not for a woman. For everything he wanted. Like he said, literally in terms of everything, in terms of just everything, his physical, emotional, mental, all of it. The things he wanted, all of it was just like on little note cards taped up. And I was just reading them all, like the car he wanted, the house he wanted.
I mean, even my car. See, for a few years now, I've been wanting one very specific car.
What's that?
Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge.
You got it?
I got it, yeah.
But the crazy thing is, though, when I first met him...
What?
When I first met him, he took a picture with his current car next to a white Rolls-Royce Cullinan. And he literally made the Instagram post, and he was like, now and like something now and in the future, something
My
like
car now versus my car later.
Yeah. And then literally I'm pretty sure it's the exact same car as the car that's in that picture.
White.
White with the red guts.
Red interior.
I mean, exact same car. There's nothing different.
21. I love to hear it. I love to see this.
That's manifestation though. Like you gotta be able to see some stuff and like realize like it might not be my time now, but if I just keep going down that path, it's there.
It's there.
It's there.
It is there.
Then growing up in the city, bro, like a lot of the stuff that we want, it ain't gonna happen. We ain't gonna see it like that. Like it's hard. We ain't never seen nobody reach these heights.
So we don't even know what to think about because we've never seen it. So even that was a big thing for me. I don't know to think about more money if I've never seen more money. I don't even know that that's something to think about. And even another thing is people say they want something, but they're constantly feeding their mind different things and the actions that they're taking are completely opposite. So you say you want to be, let's just say, closer to God. You say you want more money. You say you want a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a wife, but every single action that you're taking every single day is the complete opposite. You're listening to music that is so negatively suggestive. You don't even realize, but it is. You're like, let's say you're a man and you say you want a girlfriend. Like even my brothers all the time, they're like, Ayah, find me a wife. Find me a wife. I'm like, you guys have to be the man that's deserving of a wife. And not that they're not, they're great. My brothers are great. But even I tell them, you can't be trying to like talk to a whole bunch of other girls and do all this stuff. If you had like, if a girl saw you today and she was a girl of her dreams and she saw you doing that and you didn't know, she wouldn't want to talk to you. She'd think you were playing.
You lost your wife.
Yeah, like, so you have to be like, I always tell people, what people don't realize is like, every single choice that you make is a decision. And it's either getting you closer to where you want to be or it's taking you 10 steps back every single time. So each choice, if you're like, tonight, am I going to stay in the house and read a book or am I going to go out and club? Tonight, am I going to chill at home or am I going to drink alcohol? Like whatever the things are, the two choices that you always have. Am I going to pray or am I not going to pray? Am I going to work hard today or am I going to sit in bed all day and watch TV? Every single choice, the choice that you make that's getting you closer to that goal, it's progressing you, like it's another block that's building up the wall. But every time you make a choice that's opposite of that, it's not just not building, it's not putting the block there, but it's like tearing down 10 of them that you built up the day before. So the choices that you make are so essential, whether you realize it or not. Even the smallest ones, like music. Me and Bryson cut out music for like a while. We weren't listening to music just because most of the music, and the music we like, we grew up on, like rap, all that. It's so good. Yeah, I was like, all of them, they're good, but they're not good for your mind.
They're not good for the soul.
The soul.
And
spiritual. No.
Don't think because you're successful already, you can be more successful. You got 1 million, you can go 10 million, you can go 1 billion.
And there's always
but the
more
same rules apply.
Same rules.
The same, either you going up or you going down. And this shit get way more down, and this shit get way more up. Choose when you want to go.
One more question. Do you feel that people should try to find their mate early? Because you're young.
Absolutely.
For a guy that's 21 years old, well, you're only 21, so I've been 21. And all we do is party, women, drugs. So when I look at you, I mean, I'm pretty sure you had this transformation.
Yep.
But when I look at you, you're a different breed because you have a woman. And I think most guys, most younger men, maybe it's not because they don't have a woman. I think they're just living freely and just want to be outside and just do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want any type of rules or restrictions or anybody telling them what to do. I got a girlfriend and I can't go do this. Do you think that guys should get a girlfriend, find a wife early as possible?
For multiple reasons. One, think about a guy.
Scoot in because I need it. Because this
this is gonna be real raw. As a guy, it's a flex to have 30 bodies, right? If you got 30 bodies, the longer you wait to get that girl, she got just as many, if not double, triple. That's gross. But the longer you are in that market, the longer you dirty yourself up with all those women, your standard of woman is becoming so much higher because you want her to be perfect. But what you actually qualify for is low. How you want Beyonce, but you didn't fucked with the lowest of the lowest. You want you want a perfect woman, but you're like the most imperfect, undisciplined man. Like that's why.
Yeah, that's another thing. Men will really be so undisciplined. Like anything they see, they're talking to her. But then they see a girl that's doing the same thing and they're like, But I'm like, you just did the same thing. What makes you different than her? So she's not valuable because she's doing that. So what do you think you are? Because if you can't have the same standards of what you want a woman to be, that's when like Bryson's saying you have to be the man that's deserving of a woman, but it's vice versa. The same thing for women. Mm-hmm. You have to be the woman that's deserving of a man. If you're not doing the things, like if you weren't the opposite person that met yourself and you were like, yes, and even
we hold women to a higher standard. But we feel like they should be sacred and they shouldn't be doing what we do.
Men do. But it's a double standard that's crazy.
We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Well, let's be real though. The more women and this is marriage. So this is why marriage is like great, and here's why you should not. This is why you should sleep with as less people as possible. The more women you come in contact with sexually, the more perfect the one woman you have to settle down. The more perfect the woman you settle down with has to be perfect, because she is now in competition with all of the women you've ever had in your life.
All of them you ever encountered.
And with marriage is not fast. Marriage is steady, and that's it. So think about it like this. Think about you're used to fast sex, right? Mm-hmm. When you get married and you're actually building something with someone, sex is not at the priority list. Mm-hmm. There's more important things. But you just settle down for one woman and you're going to be thinking, I used to have sex every night. Right. So now you've compared to sex, which is like nothing, to something of substance. And it's like, in your mind, the substance, which is a real relationship, is lower. Right. So men, get your woman early and build something, like genuinely. Sex and fast nights and homeboys and trips to Miami on spring break and alcohol and weed and drugs. It's fun. But fun is broke. Like, do not, in the way of the world moving, do not be out here 40 and broke. There's wealth of knowledge. There's so much money out here. If you broke when you 40 with no wife, no kids, or kids, no wife, there's no excuse for that. Mm-hmm. But the one excuse will be, I didn't get my woman early. Mm-hmm. Then you just dirtying up yourself, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, do not be out here in 20 years claiming, I used to do this back, I used to have her back in the day. Mm-hmm. That's lame. It's always been lame, but it's going to be more lame when you see 18-year-old kids really having Lambos now. Yeah. You ain't got nothing but old stories about who you used to mess with, what your homeboys used to do. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, at this point, we've been traveling since 20. We're going to be 40. Like, damn, we just bought a $100 million crib, $200 million crib. You're going to be talking about, I used to have shorty back in the day. The comparison ain't going to be the same. Like, now that you've seen us, like, and you've seen what's possible, it's now time that you've been made aware. You can do it. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, you will be seen as like a lame nigga in the future. Like, it is gonna be lame not to have a wife. Like, it's gonna be lame. You see Jay-Z and Beyonce, $200 million crib, billionaires. Mm-hmm. That's the cool. The other shit, that's whack. Like,
I think it also gets lonely though too. Like, people, like, the fun is there until it's not. Like, what happens when you still have to go home and you're by yourself? Because the only thing that you really have, like, in life beyond, like, money is great and money does amazing things. But other than that, other than, like, God, all you have is love. Like, really, truly, like, your family, your partner. Eventually you have kids, like, maybe. But even that, it's like, that's all that there is left, you know? So when you don't even have, if you don't have like solid people around you, and it doesn't always have to be a partner. Sometimes people don't want to have a partner, but like, if you don't have somebody, some sort of family, like really close friends that are good for you or a good partner for you, I just don't see how. You just got to feel alone, you know?
Like Anaya said, you still got to go home at night. You might be turned up in the club. You going home by yourself if your crib ain't what you want it to be deep down, you're going to feel that. Mm-hmm. You're going to feel that, like, genuinely. Even in high school, so I'm from the inner city, but my last 4 years of high school, I was able to go to the suburbs. And the one thing I couldn't escape was that while I'm partying in these white kids' big homes and stuff, I'm still driving back to the city, to my little crib. Mom's still hustling. Like, yeah, the party was fun, but let's get for real, bro. Yeah. Like, these kids' futures are already secured. My future is actually not. So they can afford the party. for the next 3 years. I really cannot. They gonna be gonna get college grads. I'm gonna still be in the city. If I don't do something, working a minimum wage job, living with my mom, nothing going for myself.
That shit lame.
That shit lame. That shit lame.
That was a really good interview. I like that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For the people that's watching this, don't let his age feel like you can't get any knowledge from what he was saying. Because he's young, but I feel like he's wise. And I got something from that. You know, like, I want to be in a relationship too one day. Very soon. But I feel like if I choose the wrong person, they're going to get in the way. Absolutely. So maybe I need to go write this stuff down like you did.
Yeah, but you'll also know very quickly. Like, people ignore certain things, but you know very quickly if...
See,
and
but for you, though, it's different because you already got something.
That's the hard part.
You got something.
You started off with nothing and had to build with somebody.
Yeah.
I already got something built, and it's like, okay, what does this person really want?
That's the thing.
Are you coming to take or are you coming to build with me?
That's the thing.
Yeah. That's where it's really, it does get hard. That's why even when I tell my brothers, like, you got a big future ahead of you, find a wife right now who's going to build with you so that you don't have to question why someone's with you.
That's the worst feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's like, my brother, he's like, he has a different viewpoint because he sees it like everyone has something that attracts someone. For some people, it's their looks. For some people, it's their mind. For some people, it's their heart, whatever it is. He's like, if it's my money, I don't mind that as long as our relation, like, he's like, if that's what initially attracts them, who cares? As long as it's a good relationship and she's still down to like, build, you know, like continue on after that. I'm like, okay, like interesting viewpoint, you know, but I see what he's saying because I don't know. So it's a little bit harder.
Until he gets in that position and now he's really going through it. Nah, you're going to find out.
Yeah.
Wait, so where do you go to find your women? Or do you even seek women?
I don't really seek. I'm focused, working. And of course I meet women, which comes really, really easy. Yeah. So it's like a small, short vetting process. You know, I just got to read people. See what they do, see what type of time they're on, and I would allow someone in my life momentarily, you know, if we click. Yeah. But I don't have a particular place where I meet women. Maybe I need to go to Mars.
The library. Does it ever worry you though that like you're getting older?
It doesn't, because I know I can find a younger woman. I don't.
And you're still really young, right?
Yeah, I'm still young. 33, but I don't want to be 36 and just meeting someone. I want to meet someone like right now. We can build, and but I know I feel like I'm gonna find my wife really, really soon. Yeah, I attract any and everything. I think that I'm telling the universe I don't want it, so it's not coming in my life. Yeah. But when I open that door for it, I think that it's gonna be fairly easy, real easy.
So what are you waiting for? You said when I open that door. And you said I allow people in my life momentarily.
I love really hard. And when I let people in, I feel like it distracts me. Like when I deal with the women I deal with, it's like a quick transaction. You know, we could deal with each other for a day. I can take a step back for 2 or 3 days. But when I'm in a relationship, women love me really hard and I love really hard and I get distracted. And I don't want anything distracting me. And then women, when I meet them, they want kids, wife. I can't do that right now. Yeah. Not in the process of me building. Because it's gonna take away, because all the energy that I have is going into this. So now if someone comes in my life and a child, now I have to break this down into 4 ways. My business, her, the child, then me.
Yeah. I mean, unless you find someone who wants to build with you. That's where like it should maybe a little bit of a deeper vetting process. Like what are your goals? Or your 1-year goals, your 5-year goals? And like maybe even tell them a little bit about your life. Like what are you doing right now? Is it something that you're set on? Mm-hmm. Or even like if she has her own ambitions, then great. She can focus on hers and build hers up while you're building yours. And you guys are still building together but separate. Right. But even there's a lot of people still who are like lost, like they don't know what they want to do. So maybe she just want to help you build. And like it's building for her too.
That's
it's
cool too.
Also building for you so that you're not feeling distracted.
You like Western women? Like
who?
Western women.
American?
Yeah. Or the West of the world.
What does it even
This
mean?
is the West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these type women.
This isn't the West.
I
This
think
is
Atlanta's the East.
No, the
Western civilization.
So American. That's what you're saying. That's what when you said
Exactly.
American, then you said the West. Like I'm like, what?
yeah.
Physically, I am attracted to him, aesthetically, but I think women that are outside the country have a different mentality when it comes to relationships and dealing with men. I would rather get someone out the country.
Yeah.
What makes
Not
you
saying
ask
that they're not here in America. They are.
Yeah.
But
I think it's faith.
faith.
What does that have to do with Western?
The Western woman is more like I'm going to wear as much clothes as possible, and I'm going to
As much?
as less.
Less.
Oh.
I'm going to my body. It's not about nothing else but my body,
Mhm.
sex,
That's
money,
the modern
attention.
Western woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's faith. That's also what stood out about Anaya. How dedicated she was to her faith was like a strong symbol. There's a solid base to build on.
Mhm.
She believes in something more than
Yeah.
the physical.
Mm.
And that's what I think like most women today lack.
Mhm.
Like, you don't even believe in God. You damn sure don't believe in me.
Right.
crazy.
Damn sure don't believe in me. That was a good one.
That line is gonna go viral for sure. He
For
said,
sure.
"Yo, God, you
For
damn
sure.
don't believe in me."
That's a well-disciplined woman too, because that would show you other areas of her life. Like if you take religion serious, if you take anything serious, just one thing, you know what type of woman this is. Versus a woman that quits and all over the place and just her mind is all over the place.
Energy.
Mm.
The energy got to be so like directed.
Right. And when you meet this type of people, I could build with this person.
You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feeling, bro.
Mhm.
The first night Anaya slept in my crib, I literally gave her own blanket. I was like, "You want me to sleep on the floor?" Like, because the energy was different. This is a woman who practices religion, and she's like,
You gotta respect that.
and she ain't gotta ask for it. It's just you feel like you got to give it to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that had never happened before. Like normally, like I'm grabbing your butt, and like
Facts.
but for her, for me to give you your own blanket, that's when I just knew like this is the one.
Damn. Yeah.
That's that faith, why you feel it. So just advice, like it ain't even got to be out of the states of America, but like highly
Outside
recommend
America.
you get a Muslim wife.
I'm gonna call this the Airbnb love story. I like that. Airbnb love story.
Think of it. It'd be great.
Are you religious?
I'm not. I would consider myself spiritual. I did hang around with a lot of Muslims in my day. They taught me a lot. I was raised in a Christian household, but I never believed in it.
Mhm.
I only believed in it because of my mom.
Yeah.
But I always questioned things. Some things didn't make sense. Church kind of didn't make sense. So I was never vocal about it because my mom Haitian. So if I was to say anything about Church of God, I was the devil or rebuking. So I just never spoke out about it. But I mean, I stopped going to church, and I feel like I want to gain enough knowledge with all the religions. I want to learn a piece from all of them before I make a decision, because I don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
So like I would rather know the information and then make a decision based on that.
Do you try to spend time learning?
No.
Do you
But
believe in God?
Yes.
Are you as rich as you want to be?
No.
What if I told you that like religions like could be like one of the reasons why you aren't? Like it is the base to build on. That's all you have. Like it is the number one.
Yeah, that is true.
Now I don't want to become religious and just because I want to get rich.
No. But it comes with it, like genuinely.
Like,
Yeah, but even that,
Take
like
my
if you think
shot.
about it, like
Mhm.
God does, and even that, like if you believe in God, like Allah, the word Allah in Arabic, it just means the God. Like I think a lot of people forget that everyone has all these different religions, and so they think we're all praying to different gods. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, there's only one
There's
God.
only one.
So
One
we're all
source.
praying to the same God. We're just, to us, it's like different. But really, like Allah just means the God. Just God.
But like, what do you think stopping you from being as rich as you want to be?
Being what?
As rich as you like want to be? Like
Just time. Time hasn't caught up.
Yeah.
Like I'm really just getting started. So and I'm learning as I'm going. So like everybody I interviewed, I got a piece of information from. So I just got to implement. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things.
My time is coming.
Yes, sir.
I feel it in my soul. And it's like, I don't want to rush it. I don't care for it because I know it. I'm destined for it.
Yeah.
Do you pray?
Meditate.
That's
Do
a
you
form of prayer.
manifest?
When you're meditating, are you praying like to God?
No.
No? Do you ever pray to God?
I do pray to God sometimes. I do pray.
Okay.
I do. I don't pray as much as I need to.
Sometimes I think the first step is prayer. Because like if you have belief, if you have prayer, if you have belief, then you pray. And if you pray, then it's in your thoughts. And then your thoughts lead to actions. And then actions become things.
Look at me learning from some 21-year-olds.
21-year-old Muslims.
What? Okay.
So it's, and then like, even in Islam, for example, we pray 5 times a day. So even when you pray, like think about that. If 5 times a day, you are not only praying like for yourself and the people that you love and to have a good heart and everything that's like good, but also it's for the things that you want. There's nothing wrong with that. So imagine 5 times a day, you are constantly praying, not only to keep yourself in a balance and like, I always tell people when you're building wealth, you're not just building money, you're building yourself into the person. Because even to get there, you have to build yourself up most of the time to like be capable of that. So you're not just building wealth, but you're building yourself to be a better person, like all these things, or else the wealth is going to fall eventually. So like think about 5 times a day, you're praying and you're praying for what you want and for good things. Like even when I pray, if money's not going to make me a better person, then take it away. And if it will, then please amplify it by a lot, you know? But like, think about it 5 times a day you were praying and you're constantly, like you have to have those reminders and those thoughts, then naturally you're going to take action after you have those thoughts because you're doing it so often and it becomes like over and over and over. And then when you do your actions over and over and over, and eventually you become things. And whatever's good for you, Allah or God will put in your life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, I'm going to practice that. I'm all about just elevating, becoming the best version of myself.
Yes.
I eat really, really well.
What do you? Is it like physically eat, or do you like mentally eat too?
I think both, but more so physically.
That's really good. People don't realize how much food impacts like vibrations, everything. All of it's real, and it includes the food that you eat. Yeah.
I know that for sure. Mentally, I could definitely get better, reading more, studying more, understanding more. I feel like, I guess my excuse is work. I'm so caught up in work. Everything is revolved around work.
It's not a bad thing though.
Yeah.
But I want to work so hard where I can retire in 2-3 years, and now I can really enjoy the life that I really want to live.
But even, can you imagine yourself not working? Like retire? Like what does retirement look like?
Nothing.
He said, I can't imagine, trust. Me too. I can imagine as well. Bryson always says that, like, I can imagine with you. I'm right
like,
there.
Not even thinking about $1.
Just living.
Are you still going to do stuff?
Relaxing.
Like build something?
Build what?
Damn.
I'm going to use the money, invest it, but I don't want to think at all. If I made $100 million, I would go probably invest 30-40% of that and go live.
Yeah.
I've been working for a very long time. It was like nonstop punches, and I want to chill.
You deserve that. I think everyone deserves that.
I want to relax. I want to have my child, my wife, and we just, we're not even thinking. We're not even thinking of where are we going next?
I just want to,
What we eat tonight? That's it.
What are we going to do today?
That's it.
I feel that.
No stress. I don't want to have gray hairs. That's.
You said you don't got gray hairs?
I don't even want gray hairs.
I started growing mine and
I got one. Not right now. I mean,
I got like 30 of them joints.
30?
He don't got 30.
You colored
but
them?
He definitely got a little 10 of them mugs in there.
Don't tell me you colored them.
I went to
No,
a
he
barber today. He sprayed me.
Today-
up.
Not embrace it.
Normally, I'm a
No,
natural
normally
guy.
he doesn't like. Today the barber just did that, like
Oh, okay,
sprayed it with
okay,
black.
okay.
Like, even he said, like, I hate when they do that. Like when he left, he's
Yeah.
like, he doesn't like when they spray the little black or on the edge. But
I think it's just
he definitely
wisdom.
like recently. I've been like they weren't there before, but like right here on
Mm-hmm.
his head, he definitely has about 7 of them.
Boy, just imagine when you get my age, boy. You're gonna have a hair full of gray hairs.
Now my uncle was like fully gray by the time he was like, or one of my uncles was by the time he was like in his 20s, fully gray, which is crazy.
Well, I'm bald, so man.
He's
It ain't
like,
nothing
"I
worse
don't
than
gotta
that,
worry
bro.
about it."
Ain't nothing worse than being bald, bro. So, all right, let's go ahead and end this. Thank you guys for tuning in to Rich and Unemployed, the podcast. Make sure you guys tap into these beautiful people. If you guys want to get into Airbnb arbitrage, this is where you need to be. So until next time, Rich and Unemployed, the podcast, no more podcast in the world.